tell us a little bit about the history of your family in farming?
Yeah, so look, my dad's family, they took it up when Dad was a teenager, and it was something that he very quickly fell in love with. He was also studying at Adelaide Agricultural College, and all of a sudden he just fell in love with the farm and the cows in particular, and he took it off from there. So it was something that him and his parents did and brought up, and then obviously something that I was ultimately brought up into as well.
3 generations of farming, from the lower lakes to the Flurio, south of Adelaide.
Did you all help out in some ways with the workings of the farm?
Absolutely. I mean, when it came to school holidays, weekends, we were always, having to get up early in the morning sometimes and help hose down the dairy yard, maybe the chores we didn't feel like doing, or just little things like getting the cows in on the motorbike, which we all love doing, feeding the calves, and then even little things like raising the chickens with mum. So it was a whole family approach for all of us.
Horses and motorbikes, I love the outdoors life. I hope my kids will enjoy the same.
Casey, what was the first signs that things were turning bad in the dairy industry?
Look, it was actually when I was quite young. We were still milking cows at the family farm at Menengi at the time. It was about 2004. The drought was starting to hit pretty bad, and we actually had to move as a family to a different farm, and we moved to Victor Harbour at the time. We managed to get through that, and we downsized, and were able to survive that process. But the milk prices were kept fluctuating. The $1 a litre of milk came in, and that wasn't helping as well. Some years we were getting some rain, but then the drought would come back again and just got harder again. Then I was quite young in high school, and we sort of made the decision actually back then that we were going to sell out. We actually sold half the herd, and we were ready to say goodbye and hang up the milking cups. And then the industry took another turn, and we saw maybe another angle that we could try and keep going, and that was great that we were able to do that as well. But unfortunately, it just kept getting harder and harder, and ultimately we did have to make the decision, or my dad had to make the decision that for the family it was best for us to say goodbye.
Drought pushed up the feed costs. $1 milk just screwed us. We had no choice but to sell the cows.
Casey, what factors influenced your decision to make that video that obviously went viral around the world?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I have had a strong affinity and a strong connection with the family farm. Although I wasn't working full-time on the farm, I still have my own cows, and I still liked working closely with my dad on weekends and any holidays that I had as well. I guess it was my role in media at the time that I saw it as an opportunity of, we have a story to tell, and the industry is doing really bad, and I think people might be able to get something out of that. If I can reach just a few hundred people, even if it's just my friends, that was sort of the idea of it. I had absolutely no idea of the sheer scale that this video would take.
I can lift your weight from his shoulders. It's time to talk. The farmer needs a helping hand.
Casey, you effectively shone the spotlight on a very big issue in Australia and around the world. How did it feel to have such a big responsibility on your shoulders?
Look, it was a huge responsibility. Initially, it was just the story about our family and about my dad and what we were going through together. Obviously, in the video, I touched on a bit about what the industry was going through, but then when the media opportunities really took off, then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, well, what's my message here, and what am I trying to get across for the entire dairy industry? I mean, it's the Australian dairy industry that I've been quite passionate about as well. It's not just my own cows, but how as an industry we can prosper and the industry can continue to grow, especially for the next generation coming up.
And as a consumer, how can I help?
I think in South Australia we're actually quite lucky now because we have so many local dairy companies that are producing their own local product. I mean, there's Flurio Milk, there's Golden North, and a few others as well that are really just growing, and part of that is because of consumers all of a sudden going, okay, well, this message has gotten out there in the media, so how can I support them? And a lot of the messaging is around buying local, make sure you're buying Australian products, and that message remains the same. And consequently, companies like Fleurieu Milk, they've been able to take on a lot more dairy farmers in the last couple of years. So their business continues to grow, and it's companies like those that are securing the future for South Australian farms. And similar companies are right across the country as well. So again, it's just buying local. That's the same old message.
Casey, what is the state of the dairy industry in Australia today?
Well, interestingly, after the video and after it suddenly became, I guess, a national election issue at the time, after the trip to Canberra as well, suddenly $1 a litre milk became no more. Look, it didn't save the dairy industry, but certainly it helped, and certainly that messaging around consumers buying local, I think, definitely helped. And, on a local level here in South Australia as well, look, the industry's not, hasn't been fixed, and it'll never be perfect, but dairy farmers it seems to be in a better spot. We're not dealing with such severe droughts across the country as well, and that definitely helps too. So for now, yeah, it's looking like a brighter future.
Okay, Casey, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's play.
Fresh in the morning, there's mouths to feed and work to do in the dairy yard. 3 generations of farming, from the lower lakes to the Fleurieu, south of Adelaide. The animals understand us. I sat and cried in the grain trough. They came around and eased my pain. Horses and motorbikes, I love the outdoors life. I hope my kids will enjoy the same. I worry about my father. He's not the type to talk when things are turning bad. I can lift her weight from his shoulders. It's time to talk. The farmer needs a helping hand. Drought pushed up the feed costs. $1 milk just screwed us. We had no choice but to sell the cows. Milk money ain't that much. Milk money ain't that much. The milk money means so much to me. But it's fading, the way of life in a country town. It's a dream. All in for sport on a weekend. Load up and drive 100 miles for best in show. Families are the lifeblood. Kill the farms and they'll just move on. Do you take your tea with sugar and cream? Milk money ain't that much. Milk money ain't that much. The milk money means so much to me.
Wow. Oh, that was incredible. I can't get over the lyrics and how so simply they were able to just capture, my love for the industry from a young kid to where it's at now. Bravo. No, I love it.